Hello everyone and welcome back to our game. I forgot to mention last episode that I was taking a break of about 10 days. Needed some rest from work, and unfortunately I couldn't have my game with me. But I'm back now, and let's continue our playthrough of enemy action Kharkov, and this is the German solo. So this is still turn 1, and now it's the Soviet impulse. It's the 5th Soviet impulse, and the first thing we do is draw 2 command cards, and let's see what we get. Yes, they're both primary cards, so it's going to be the highest command, command value. That's going to be a normal, the command card, and the other one is going to be the auxiliary. So that's it. Mobile group pop-off again. It's our card, and the auxiliary card is the 40th army. The next thing we check is event, and yes, there's again this command delay event. You remember it from previous impulses, and since the auxiliary card has got a command event according to the rules, we execute the event. And command delay, it just means that if there are 4 or more cards in the Soviet draw pile, this card gets returned and shuffled. So let me check. There are indeed, there are 6 cards, so this goes back in, we shuffle, and that's it. So we'll get more impulses, the Soviets, I'm afraid. So this is it, mobile group pop-off. So we check the orders in the order given, the commands, in the order given. So first command is activate all units in group, and we'll check if we can activate any unit in the corp. So then we proceed with the activation. So let's see how the situation is where mobile group pop-off is right now. Okay, so this is where mobile group pop-off is right now. Let me remind you that the prerequisite for activation, for corps activation, this is an army, is that there has to be at least one non-isolated unit in the specified formation on the map or in the reserve box. So clearly there are no non-isolated units, so the activation is going to happen. And the first step in its Soviet unit activation is to make the objective check. So this is for the active front, of course. This is the southwest front, and the objective is still here. We have checked it quite a few times. So let's see if it will be relocated. Sorry, not redeployed. If no unit occupies the objective hex, no German unit occupies the hex and adjacent, the no Soviet unit gets adjacent to that unit, obviously. And the last one, if is any unit in mobile group pop-off or southwest front and general proximate to the unoccupied objective hex. And yeah, let's check proximity. If you remember from my previous videos, my lines are kind of set up so that there shouldn't be any unit proximate. I mean, there is a continuous zone of control extending all along my front, starting from, but the critical area is, I guess, right here. And let's see, is there a chance any unit could reach and enter this hex in one move? I mean, no, there's one here is clearly not going through. Let me go through here. Zone to control. These are the only one that would have a chance of doing so, but it's zone of control, so it can't go here. Zone of control to zone of control. Here is not in a zone of control, but the best this unit can do is to go here, and it's zone of control, and it's got to stop, because you don't get to go forwards and backwards again. If you enter zone of control of an enemy unit, your unit has to stop. And yeah, maybe next impulse, if this unit found itself here, next turn it could very well pay an extra movement point and get here, and then yeah, it would be proximate, but it's not happening. In this Soviet activation, it will just go here and stop. It can't go any further. It's in the general movement rules. So no relocation, and so we move to the next step, which, as you remember, is movement. And I think mobile group Popov has moved quite a lot. So let's go and check our movement methods. So these are the units of mobile group Popov that will get activated. It's still turn 1, and the movement, the A alpha, I don't know how you prefer it, set of movement methods will be used. It has been asked, I think, on BGG, and it's quite clear in the rules. Turns 1 to 4, no matter what, you use the A set of movement methods. So let me try and maybe zoom a little bit without losing focus. That's quite hard, you know. Yeah, well, I think that's good. So so movement, the first movement method we examine in descending order is to take a VP hex, and I don't think there is a VP hex that can be taken, at least not with one move. Lozovaya, way down here, and this here is clearly behind lines, and so is Krasnoarmysk. Okay, and not very good at it, but it's clearly we have done it many times, and I can see any unit able to take MVP hex. I mean, you need the mobile group Popov, that is. Okay, so let's not spend all day examining this again, and let's go to the second movement method, adjacent to German VP hex and closer to objective. So there is a German VP hex here. I mean, it's the only one that they could get adjacent to, and we'll see if that's going to happen. And we examine ascending order, and I don't see any other that maybe we'll check, but ascending order, the first one is here, this unit selector 1 that we have to check. It clearly can't possibly get all the way through here. I mean, it has to cross the river, or even if it uses the road, let's say it could go 1, 2, 3, then in zone of control, and any other method, and it would have to stop here or here. I mean, or zones of control here, it would never get near Kramatorsk, so it's not going to happen. Besides, we have to examine if it leaves this unit proximate. No, it doesn't. It can move. I don't see anything, but still, the other hex that could possibly, arguably, could reach the German VP hex would be here Zmiev. It's no, not happening because we would have to go here by 2 and then here, then again zone of control. No, it's not going to happen. No other German hex, and I think the same goes for all the other units. I mean, this one here clearly no German VP hex. I mean, the most near is here, but you can't go. You can't find yourself stuck here, which would be adjacent to German VP hex and near objective. I don't think it's near objective, at least for these units, and but you actually can't go there. I mean, it's zone of controls everywhere. This unit is practically surrounded, so no. I hope I'm not making a horrible mistake here. I can't see any other German VP hex which is near the objective, so no, movement method 2 will also not apply here. So let's go to movement method 3, which as you remember is open supply line, but this comes into play on turn 3 onwards, so no. And again, the mobile group of is Spearhead, so movement methods 4 to 9. For the first turn, those units who don't occupy a town or city are Spearhead units. So let's see if we have any mobile group of units occupying a town or city, and yes, we've got these 2 units here that occupy Izium, and no, can't see any other unit. So these are not considered Spearhead units, the rest are. So for these 2 units we'll go through movement methods 4 to 9. And okay, for descending order, so we use this, and it says cause surround. Move to hex that if occupied by the unit would cause an unsurrounded German unit to become surrounded. So it would be interesting to see if I think the best candidate of course is this unit or this unit. I mean, if we can get a unit here, and yeah, only here, or even if we can get a unit here, and no, it has to be in this hex. In this hex, then which would get control over this hex and this hex, and of course this one, it would get this unit would get surrounded. These are the 2 hexes that are free right now. So is this unit number 5 able to reach this hex, at least this hex, and surround the unit? And as I've said, no, we have already covered this. The answer is no, because it would go one here, which is fine, but it's entering enemy zone of control. It's got to stop here. It can't move. You can't go 1, 2 and do that. And of course, any other combination, even if it goes here, then it's zone of control of this unit, so it will have to stop here. It requires 2 movements to do that. And the same goes for the other unit. It's the other unit is a mobile. It's a mechanized unit. So yeah, it's 6, but the movement points don't help in this situation. You can't. Mechanized units have to abide by the zone of control rules. So no movement method 4. Let's go to movement method 5, again descending order. So we examine this one first, and it says to Soviet VP hex. Okay, move to an empty garrison Soviet VP hex target to the active for which a German unit is proximate. I don't think, yeah, well, this is maybe it's proximate, yeah, it's could be, yeah, it's proximate to these units, let's say. And let me see, Soviet infantry, if unable to move to an unoccupied Soviet VP hex, okay, Move to VP hex occupied only by Soviet armored units. It's already there. An infantry unit, that's what I was looking for. So, movement method 5, descending order, and we examine this unit, and we get to the last sentence of the rule, which states that an infantry unit starting in a VP hex stacked with only armored units, which applies, does not move by this or any subsequent method. So this is stacked with mobile, the mechanized units, is in a Soviet VP hex, so this unit is not going to move at all in this movement phase. So it's kind of moved, let's say. I mean, I turned so that we don't examine it again. Well, so, but we proceed to descending order, and we then have to examine this unit and move to an empty or garrisoned Soviet VP hex. I mean, the closest is obviously here. It's empty, targeted for the active front, and to which a German unit is proximate. And German unit is proximate. No, is this unit, let's say, proximate here? It could go here and here again, because these two are in the zone of control of these units, so it would have to stop entering. And yes, no, it's not proximate, and this may seem strange, but proximity for a hex, you have to be able to actually enter the hex. If you stop adjacent, you have to stop adjacent to hex, you're not proximate to the hex per the rules. So it will not move by this method. It's not an infantry unit, so no, it can't. So next, number 6, we've only got one unit to examine. Adjacent to German VP hex, as I've said, this is the closest. It can't go adjacent to a German VP hex because of the zones of control, as I've said. It could try and reach, let's say, if it made the dash for Znijev, no, because it would stop in any of these two hexes, or these two hexes, it can't go. Okay, so 7, adjacent to German unit in logistics hex. And yes, that's interesting, because we've got a German unit. This pink red hex is a logistic hex, and it can get adjacent to a German unit in logistics hex. It is for the active front, of course. It's red, it's the southwest front, and we have preference. I mean, no, preference doesn't matter, because it can only go here. It can possibly reach, or it could go here. Here and yeah. Let me check if it can go here and here. Okay, it could go here or here. Okay, these are two hexes are valid, but it would have to stop here. So let's see if it can reach this hex, which is also valid, and it is mechanized. It would have to cross minor river, so it would be and it's what, it's woods over there. Yes, it's woods, so it would be 4 just to get here, and to actually cross the river it would be another 2 plus, no, it can't go there, so it's here or here. And let's check the preference. Prefer the German unit stack with the lowest total strength. Okay, that's the only one. The easternmost hex, it is I'm not sure, it would be this hex, and isn't, let me see if it's 3. No, it can't go here, because it's 3 and plus 2, it's 5 steps, so you can't go to, you can get past 6 steps, so just wasting my time. So it goes just here, 1 movement point, it's a bridge river, so it goes here, zone of control, and it stops its adjustment to German unit in logistics sectors. So we don't, no units can be checked for 8 or 9 movement methods, and because all the other ones are spearhead units, so we get straight to movement method 10. Okay, movement method 10, it's in ascending order, and we have to follow the movement arrows, but we have to spend all our movement points following the movement arrows, primary and secondary, or else we don't get the move. And let me just check these units. It's 6. It could no, it can't. Okay, primary is out of the question here because it's ZOC to ZOC, zone of control. Secondary, yes, it can. It could go 1 to break the zone of control. It could go 2, and then the primary arrow would be 3 and 4, and no, it can't get anywhere else, but it hasn't spent its movement points, so no. But if we go 2 plus 3 and again it stops, no, so it doesn't move because it can't spend the points. So next unit we have to check, I mean we have checked 4, 5, and it's this one, 7, and it obviously, let's see who is the primary or secondary arrows for this hex. Okay, primary arrow is right here, yeah, primary arrow is right here, obviously can't go. Secondary arrow is right there, can't go zone of control to zone of control. It could normally move back and then, but it's not the point of this movement method. You have to follow the arrows, so it doesn't move. Let's see here, and it's, yes, primary arrow is here, infantry unit, yes, so it would go 1 here plus 2 here, and it would stop. And let's see if there are any secondary. I was in Izium, and no secondary arrows there, so it would get nowhere. It can't spend all its movement points, so it will not move. And I think the same goes for, yeah, it's the same hex obviously, so the same goes here. It will go here, 1 and 2 and stop, so, and it can't go anywhere else. And I don't think there were any secondary arrow. There is secondary arrow here, sorry, forgot to check this one. This one, let's go for this unit. It could go 1 plus 2 plus 3, yeah, no, but it could go 1 plus 2 and stop, no. Mechanized, I think it's the same, it would just pay a little bit more. It could go 1 plus 1 to cross, it would go 2 here, and either 3, 4 here, or would go 2 plus 1 here and stop. No, it can't spend its movement points. Let's get this unit, number 20, to see if it moves following primary or secondary arrows. No, both the arrows point directly at German units, so not following them. And then number 22 can't go anywhere obviously. It's surrounded, it would be ZOC to ZOC. And so that's movement method 10, and let's go movement method 11, closest to front objective. I mean, it's still in the game, the front objective. And let's see, move to hex closer, it's ascending order, sorry again. Move to hex closer to the unit's front objective, not the same distance. Prefer the hex closest, adjust into German occupied hex, and now I think we've got some valid moves. So let's check this one, and it would go obviously this hex here, where it would end up is closer to the front objective, and it could very well reach it because it would be 2, clear and zone color 2, 3, 4, and it would be closer to front objective. It's preferable because it's adjustment to German occupied hex with a list. I mean, there's no other valid hex anyway. I mean, it could go here, stacking limits, it couldn't go further than here, and still, so this will move. So it's 1 plus 1, 2, it's 3, and it's 4, and it's 5 steps total here, so yes, it will get there. The situation is rather dire for goals, isn't it? Okay, so 4, 5 has already been examined, so let's go to number 7. 7 says it can't move actually closer. I mean, yeah, technically, 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and here it's the same. It is 1, 2, 3. It's closest. It says not the same distance, so it can't move. No, there's also no advantage in tactical movement. But let me check for unit number 7 if there's a tactical preference when moving. Apply to Soviet units. Okay, let's call it adjusting to not move. No, it doesn't call for unit to not move, but again, the hex that would call no. The hex not adjusting to no. It's not possible to move the hex. Not adjusting to Soviet unit or empty or not occupied by. Oh, it's already in a hex not occupied by a unit, but so it doesn't have any meaning. So let's go to number 8. Number 8. Could it get closest to front objective? I mean, this hex. Yes, maybe this one. Let me see. And this one, it's well, here is 1, 2, 3, 4. If it goes here, it will be 1, 2, 3, or here. Well, it can't get here or here because stacking limits. Let's see if it can get here, and it would be that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if it gets here, it would be 1, 2, 3. Yes, and that's a valid destination. And let's see if it can get here. It would be interesting. Because then it would be again 1, it would be 1, 2, 3. So let's see what happens here. I mean, it's infantry crossing the Donets River. It's +1 plus goods, which is 2 for infantry. So that would be 3, and again 1 here. And it would be, yes, it could be, and let's see here, so it's a minor river, here, no, it would go 1 plus 2 for the goods, 3, well, both hexes so are valid, can reach this hex or this hex, so we have to go with the preferences, closest to the front, okay, adjustment to German occupied hex with list strength, and see, it's empty hex. I mean, list strength. Well, this is strength 4 and okay 8, and this hex is just this one, so it's preferable. Besides, this is an empty hex, which is the next tiebreaker. So let me run this again. So it's increasing 1 plus 2 for the goods. That's 3. It's 1, 2, 3 hexes away, while it was 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away, and that's it. And the same, let's do the same check for unit number 9, and I think it will follow the same move. I think it's got movement points because it's just +1 to cross, so it's 2 plus 3 for the goods, it's 5, it's got 6 points, so it would get here. Again, we use the third preferences list adjacent to German occupied hex with least strength. If we could, maybe we could get it here. No, could we? It's 3 for the goods plus 1 for the, it's 4, and it's broken 2, 6. Yeah, we could get it here, but strength here is 8, adjustment to 8 strength, while here is adjustment to 3 strength. So that's preferable. So these units have moved, and let's go number 20. 22. Well, but okay, let's go. Can we get closer to the objective? That would mean it's already 1, 2, 3. All these hexes are 1, 2, 3. Only this hex is closer. It can't. It could. Well, stack wise, it could get, because just one step unit. Let's check if it could, but no, because it would have to go 3 here for the goods and cross the river and stop, because it can't go just here. It's a zone of control, so no, it can't reach this yet. That would be meaningful, so it will stay who it is. And okay, and okay, 22, number 22 here is sound, it can't go anywhere actually. And last but not least, our number 12 is strengthen potential attack, which says if not adjacent to a German unit, move to hex adjacent to a German unit to which another active Soviet unit is also adjacent. So everything okay, and it says a unit starting adjacent to German unit does not move by this method. So the only units that haven't moved yet start adjacent, so we can't. We have examined now all the methods, and all units that are able to move have already moved. Of course, I'll make a check a little bit later on. And yeah, that's it for this part, and we'll be back with correcting possible mistakes, of course, and for the attack.